This is Morgan. Welcome to today's segment of Morgan on Science from morganonscience.com, and I can be reached at MetaMorgan on Twitter. And today I'm starting a new weekly episode of Dear Morgan. It's based on the concept of Dear Abby, but for science careers. So it's an opportunity for you to write in your questions about science careers, grant writing, getting a faculty job, whatever questions, burning questions you have. I hope you'll write in and let me know, and I'll answer them in future segments. So today's question comes from Irina, who writes about how do you balance grant writing and paper writing at the beginning of a faculty appointment? Is it wiser under the pressure of the department to send an R01 in right away, or to wait a little while while you get an authorship, a senior authorship on a paper, and then send the R01? How do you balance those pressures? Irina writes, I need advice to smartly balance those demands. And so this is a great question. It's an issue that many of us face, and I certainly faced this when I was starting out as a new faculty member. And so I balanced it too much towards the grant writing side. I went in and I immediately started applying for grant proposals, and I got rejection, 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 rejection. I think there were at least 3 in a row. And I after having those 3, maybe it was 4 grant rejections, I decided I have to take a different approach. And so what my different approach was, I learned how to become a better grant writer from a wonderful mentor, and I use a lot of his advice in my grant writing course that I teach other people now. And B, I got more preliminary data. I actually got publications in the area that I was applying for a grant for. And then I went back in and reapplied once I had that combination, and I got an R01 on the first round of submission. So I really think that is a key combination, being a great grant writer and having great science, a track record of doing great science in that area, which means 1 or more publications in the area that show that you can do the work. And so that would be my advice, is to not go ahead, not try to get a grant until you have that credibility, unless it's some kind of career award or exploratory award. I just don't think there's much likelihood of getting a grant if you don't have any credibility, which means if you don't have any track record, any data that shows that you can do that particular kind of work. Reviewers tend to be fairly conservative about that kind of thing, and that debate about whether they should be so conservative is for another day. So I like to see it as a stepwise process where you start out in a new area of science, getting some publications, or at least getting several publications worth of data, then using that to apply for grants, and then hopefully you get one or more of those grants, and then using those to continue the work and get more publications, and then using those publications to help you in the next grant. And so it is that stepwise process. Now, if you started out coming into your faculty job as a postdoc who already has publications directly in the area that you're planning to apply for, then you've got a head start. Then perhaps you can launch into the grant writing earlier on. But if not, you should wait until you have 1 or 2 publications worth of data, and then even if you haven't got those papers published yet, you at least have enough data that you can put as preliminary data in the grant proposal. It's a little bit harder now with the shortened, condensed 12-page NIH format to fit all of that in. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle, so it's better if you have them as publications, but at least have 1 to 2 publications worth of data to show in your grant proposal if you can't cite them as references. So that's my suggestion, and I'd like to hear from other listeners to see what they think, how they would answer this question, how they balance those demands. I want to have a good discussion about this on the blog. I think that's a lot of fun. So definitely write in with your comments. Again, that's at morganonscience.com. That's my blog. And I'm at MetaMorgan on Twitter, so you can tweet me about it if you want to. And so make sure that you write in with questions for future episodes, and I'll be happy to answer them. I think it's fun to figure out how to balance these career challenges. I learn a lot in the process, and I hope that you learn something too. So that's it for today. So until tomorrow, this is Morgan checking out, and have a great day. Bye-bye.